been away for about 9 days, and Herbie has been out doing his job, looking a bit dusty now. The grass itself is still nicely mown. The heart of the garden is doing exactly what we want it to do, which is the wildlife bit. We did wonder if the Automower might affect the wildlife. It hasn't. We'll show you a result of that in a minute or two. The area that I seeded, while certain bits are a bit patchy, but that's probably my fault, the rest of it is looking really healthy. We trimmed the edge of what is to become the vegetable garden next year, I think now, not long before we went away, so this is how much it would have grown while we were away. So he's kept all that down. It's looking very good. If we come in and see the actual grass itself, we haven't changed the blades yet, and I think they're looking fairly good. I don't know whether there's much need to change the blades yet, so still very pleased. And we'll take a look at the front garden in a minute or two and see how it's got on there. So, through into the front garden now, and we always knew this little bit in front of the garage and behind the cars was going to be a bit tricky to mow. It's doing a reasonable job. Perhaps I could have parked the car a bit further away when we were laying the cable, because it's got a bit long there, but it's doing okay. And then over here we've got the nice little bit that Herbie mows heading down towards the bottom of the path to cross. Over here on the right you can see where the grass isn't really growing, but that's because we've got lots of snowdrops and bluebells and all sorts of natural wildflowers in there in the spring, so we don't cut it until much later in the season. So this little bit here is doing okay. We didn't let Herbie cut just in front of the car, so this does need strimming again. Shame we didn't win that strimmer, but never mind. The bit where he crosses over here is doing okay. The side of the path here is perfectly okay, all the way through to here. Again, perhaps we could have put the boundary wire a little bit further in, but nevertheless it's doing okay. The main lawn itself is looking okay, all the way in and under the holly tree. The only thing I've had to do really is rake up some holly leaves. Side of the lawn here is okay. Now this is the bit that is, you know, it's not brilliant, but this is the steep slope from the lawn up, and poor Herbie, he manages it okay, but it is looking a bit rough in places, but we expected that really. It's actually beyond the capabilities of this particular lawnmower, the 315, but he's not doing a bad job. Maybe if I rake out some of the moss, sow some grass in it, I've got plenty of compost, I could probably even slacken that slope off a little bit later on in the year. But generally speaking, he's doing an absolutely brilliant job, and I have to say I'm absolutely thrilled and delighted. So we'll be posting again very soon. There we go. And the other thing is, of course, it's not really affecting the wildlife. We've had a number of hedgehogs in the garden here, which is good, and a number of other interesting animals, but more about that later on.